The view on the screen now is
8.5 minutes since the launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome's launch pad number 1. Soyuz rocket and spacecraft continue to function as planned. At 8 minutes and 45 seconds, coming up just now, the third stage will cut off and separate. The single liquid-fueled engine will have shut down and drop away at an altitude of about 125 statute miles. Visiting vehicle officer here in Mission Control reports to Flight Director Royce Renfrew that third stage separation has been confirmed.
You know that the stuffed animals have disappeared. Okay, why? Because they're floating above them. So no more engines. That fluid rush is happening.
The Soyuz capsule and crew inside are now safely in orbit, and the spacecraft is automatically executing its pre-programmed commands to deploy the antennas and solar arrays.
So it's actually great to have video all through this point.
All antennas and solar arrays have been confirmed deployed and functioning well. The Soyuz is orbiting now at an altitude of 143 miles by 118 miles. That orbit will be raised systematically over the course of the next 6 hours, placing it in close proximity to the International Space Station. The crew inside the Soyuz spacecraft all smiles as they continue their journey to the International Space Station.
Doesn't get any smoother than that. So once we hear this,
the control of the spacecraft from here on will be overseen from the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow and Korolev.
I'm cheating and reading the Russian display, but it looks like the arrays are out and the antennas are deployed. So at this point, you're safe, you're in space, and all you got to do is leak check your vehicle, and if your vehicle's good, then it's just a matter of chasing the station. So this is where we all kind of start to breathe a bit of a sigh of relief. But again, very reliable, wonderful booster. Any questions? It's a lot less exciting after this. They're going to be sitting in there, mostly checking all their systems, making sure that none of their vital fluids are leaking, oxygen, propellant, water, all their systems that they need. You just want to check the pressure integrity of those tanks because you just shook the daylights out of them during launch. Then eventually, again, they'll be able to raise their visors.
And this is a view of the Neptune panel inside the Soyuz spacecraft as the crew, particularly Commander Fyodor Yurshikin, continues to monitor the performance of the spacecraft as it continues its climb into orbit.
And note, this movie is in Russian. There's no subtitles.
All of the characters you see here are Cyrillic, Russian language characters that are
you have to be bilingual, essentially.
Showing him precise levels of performance for the Soyuz spacecraft.
Chris is watching. It's a very simple set of displays, actually. You can learn the displays on this thing fast. It was built to be intuitive and user-friendly, which is really quite nice. So these guys, like I say, we're compressing 2 days into a few hours. So every orbit is 90 minutes, and 4 orbit rendezvous is 4 times an hour and a half. So it ends up being fairly compressed, but still not so exciting as a shuttle flight, where as soon as the engine's cut off, you have a lot of work to do. A 6-member crew will all be very, very busy. In this case, mostly Fyodor and Luca will be just getting the ship configured for the rendezvous burns that are going to come up. The ground will load a bunch of data into their flight computers, both will check it, and they'll just anticipate monitoring a whole bunch of burns. And in the meantime, they should be able to float up to the little habitation module, relieve themselves if they need to, grab a snack or some water if they need to, and it's nice to go up there. You'll have windows up in that little habitation module, so you'll get pretty decent views from there, and then from the little tiny windows down in the descent module. So seeing the Earth is pretty cool. And the interesting thing now is before the first rendezvous burns is they're low. They're only about 120 miles above the ground. And that may seem high, but the station's